Liam had never seen a stage so enormous in his life. Back home in Cebu, the largest audience he ever faced was a school assembly where most students didn't even pay attention. But today, as he stood behind the AGT curtains, he could hear the roar of thousands echoing like a storm. His small hands trembled as he pressed them against his sides, trying to calm the wild beating of his heart. The lights seeping through the curtain edges painted the floor gold and white, reminding him that beyond that fabric, the world was waiting, judging, expecting, doubting. He wasn't supposed to be here. At least, that's what everyone said. People told him he was too young, too soft-spoken, too shy to stand on a stage this big. But his mother always whispered into his ear, "Anik, when you dance, you are brave." Those words were the only armor he carried with him as a stagehand waved him forward. "Ready?" the man asked. Liam nodded even though he wasn't sure he was. His shoes tapped softly against the glossy floor as he walked toward the center of the stage. The moment he stepped into the blinding light, the noise softened, not because the crowd grew quieter, but because his mind did. He felt like he had stepped into another world, a world where every sound dimmed except his breathing, every movement slowed except his heartbeat. The judges sat before him, Howie smiling with curiosity, Heidi leaning forward with a kind expression, Sophia offering a gentle nod, and at the far end, Simon Cowell staring with his unreadable gaze. That stare alone almost knocked the air out of Liam's lungs. "What's your name?" Simon asked, voice sharp but not unkind. Liam swallowed. I'm Liam," he answered, forcing the words out. His voice cracked slightly, and he heard a few soft chuckles from the audience. His cheeks burned. "How old are you?" Simon continued. 12. "And what will you be doing for us today?" Liam inhaled deeply. I want to perform Michael Jackson." A few whispers floated around the room. Some people tilted their heads, doubtful. A couple of teenagers in the audience exchanged smirks. It wasn't the first time a kid said he wanted to perform like Michael Jackson, and usually, it didn't go well. But Simon leaned forward, a spark of interest in his eyes. "Michael Jackson. That's a big name. Why him?" Liam's face softened. "He inspired me. When I dance, I feel like I'm not scared anymore." That answer made the audience quiet down. It wasn't bragging. It wasn't rehearsed. It was honest. "Well," Simon said, sitting back. "Show us what you've got." The lights dimmed instantly. A soft fog crept across the floor. Liam's ears picked up the faint ticking rhythm of Billie Jean. The opening note struck like lightning. Something inside him snapped into place, like the shy boy stepped back, and another version of him stepped forward. His head lifted with a confidence he didn't know he possessed. His shoulders straightened. His gaze sharpened. The audience leaned in, sensing a shift. Then Liam slid his right foot forward and snapped into the first pose, chin raised, fingers curled, legs angled just like MJ. A loud gasp rippled through the room. They didn't expect precision. They didn't expect power. They didn't expect a transformation. He spun sharply, letting the momentum flow through his arms in a clean arc. His feet struck the floor in rhythm, hitting each beat with deliberate accuracy. Every pop of his joints echoed with confidence. He glided across the stage with movements far beyond his age. People sprang forward in their seats. Even Simon blinked, his shoulders subtly rising in surprise. Liam felt the energy pulsing through his veins. He wasn't performing, he was living. Each move was a release, each spin a declaration. The boy who trembled moments ago was gone. In his place stood a young artist channeling the legacy of one of the greatest performers the world had ever seen. He stepped backward, smoothly transitioning into the first moonwalk. His feet seemed to float across the stage like the laws of gravity had given him permission to bend them. The theater erupted with screams and cheers. Phones shot up. Parents nudged their kids. Some fans in the back rose to their feet instantly. Heidi covered her mouth, eyes glistening. Sophia whispered, "Oh my God." But Liam wasn't watching them. He was lost in the rhythm. Every beat was a heartbeat. Every movement was a story. He danced not to impress but to express everything he felt, everything he dreamed, everything he feared. He performed the shoulder pop, the smooth spin, the sharp stomp, each one sharper than the last. His body flowed with musical instinct, as though he was born for this stage. He slid into the classic MJ side glide, arms extending gracefully. The crowd roared again. By now, even Simon's expression had shifted. His lips parted slightly. His eyes narrowed, not in disappointment, but in focus. He was watching closely, deeply, the way he only did when he saw something extraordinary forming before him. The music built toward its peak. Liam dropped into a low pose, legs bent, arms crossed, sweat glistening on his forehead. The audience held its breath. Then, with perfect timing, he rose into the signature MJ spin. 1, 2, 3 flawless rotations, and ended in a toe stand, rising onto the very tips of his shoes. He held the position as long as his muscles allowed, face still, body balanced, heart racing. Silence swept through the room. Real silence. Not a single whisper. And then, an eruption of applause so powerful it seemed to shake the building. People sprang upward in waves. Some screamed. Others clapped wildly. A few were in tears, overwhelmed by the emotion of witnessing raw talent bloom before their eyes. The lights brightened again. Liam stood there, chest rising and falling rapidly, trying not to cry. He did it. He truly did it. The boy who walked in trembling had just made thousands of people rise to their feet. Simon slowly leaned toward his microphone. But before he spoke, Liam saw something he would never forget. The faint, unmistakable smile forming on Simon Cowell's face. It was the kind of smile that signaled something incredible was about to happen.